Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Janaranjana Yashodanandana Janaranjana Agunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraj Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraj Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Jaya Radha Madan Gopala Madan Gopati Radhe Jaya Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jaya Gauranikai, 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 Jaya 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 34. Bhavati esha satvena lokan vailoka bhavana Leelavataranuratho Devatiryannaradishu Bhavayatyesha satvena Lokan vailoka bhavanaha Leelavataranuratho Devatiryannaradishu Bhavayatyesha satvena Lokan vailoka bhavanaha Leelavataranuratho Devatiryannaradishu. Devotees can recite. Bhavatyesha satvena Lokan vailoka bhavanaha Leelavataranuratho Devatiryannaradishu. Bhavatyesha satvena Lokan vailoka bhavanaha Leelavataranuratho Devatiryannaradishu. Bhavatyesha satvena Lokan vailoka bhavanaha Leelavataranuratho Devateryam Naradisu. What word meaning? Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki bhavayate maintains Eshaha all these Satvena in the mode of goodness Lokan all over the universe Why generally Loka Bhavanaha the master of all the universes Leela pastimes Avatara incarnation Anuratah assuming the role Deva the demigods Tirya lower animals Naradishu in the midst of human beings. Translation Thus the Lord of the universes maintains all planets inhabited by demigods, men and lower animals. Assuming the roles of incarnations, he performs pastimes to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness. Purport There are innumerable material universes, and in each and every universe there are innumerable planets inhabited by different grades of living entities in different modes of nature. Lord Vishnu incarnates the Lord Vishnu incarnates himself in each and every one of them, and in each and every type of living society, he manifests his transcendental pastimes amongst them just to create the desire to go back to Godhead. The Lord does not change his original transcendental position, but he appears to be differently manifested according to the particular time, circumstances, and society. Sometimes he incarnates himself or empowers a suitable living being to act for him. But in either case, the purpose is the same. The Lord wants the suffering living beings to go back home, back to Godhead. The happiness which the living beings are hankering for is not to be found within any corner of the innumerable universes and material planets. The eternal happiness which the living beings want is obtainable in the kingdom of God, but the forgetful living beings, under the influence of the material modes, have no information of the kingdom of God. The Lord therefore comes to propagate the message of the kingdom of God, either personally or either personally as an incarnation or through his bona fide representative as the good son of God. Such incarnations or sons of God are not making propaganda for going back to Godhead only within the human society. Their work is going on in all types of societies, amongst demigods and those other than human beings. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादे पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, seek the blessings of all the Vaishnava devotees so that I can render some service and speak for my purification. So this verse is the last sloka of second chapter, and it creates a junction between the third chapter and second chapter. In the first chapter, one of the two questions that the sages asked Suta Goswami was, one was tell us the pastimes of the Purusha Avatara, and the second they asked the pastimes of Leela Avatara. So Purusha Avatar, in the previous many verses, Suta Goswami was explaining about the Lord being beyond the three modes and manifesting as the cause of all causes, and one who is maintaining and creating this entire material manifestation in the form of Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Shirodakshay Vishnu. So in this verse begins the description of Leela Avatar, and there is a change of theme, and therefore the chapter will begin with a new name, and Krishna, and that will basically conclude that how Krishna is the source of all incarnation. Ete chams kala Krishna ete chams kala Krishnastu Bhagavan. So, in this verse, Sutta Goswami is saying that by the Lord has two not service. Lord is doing two things in this verse. One is maintaining, another is doing pastimes, and for that he incarnates in different societies in all the universes. So he maintains all material planets, and not just the planets of our universe, but all the universes. Prabhupada explains that there are innumerable universes, and inside each universe there are innumerable planets. And in all the universes, Lord incarnates. And these incarnations are called Krishna's Leela avatar. So he has many types of avatars, Sakyavesh avatar, in which Krishna can empower different devotees, or sometimes he may himself come as an empowered incarnation. Like Narada is given the power to preach, and Parashuram was given the power to Kshatriya Hanan. So the special type of potency Krishna can give, these are called Sakyavesh avatar. So Leela avatar, Krishna incarnates, performs some special pastimes, whether it is Nrsimhadev, Lord Ramchandra, Krishna. These are Leela avatars. Purusha avatar we already heard, and then Gunavatars in the form of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. They are the in charge of the three modes in the universe. So in this way, Lord is showing His compassion. In the previous class, uh, during the question answer session, it was explained that when Krishna is showing his affection for the living entities, it is not his need, it is his compassion for the living entities. So, Krishna's compassion comes in the form of his reciprocation, and we should not misidentify that as something that makes God obliged, or he is doing something like a normal person and get bound by his own activities. Krishna is always free. There are so many beautiful verses. In ninth chapter, this verse comes, Matsthani Sarva Bhutani. Let me find out. 9.4 मया ततम इदम सर्वम जगदव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न च हम तेषु अवस्थिता. By me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And so he says, Matsthani sarva bhutani. All the living entities are in me, but I am not in them. And in the very next verse he will say, न च मत्स्थानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगम ऐश्वरम भूत भृत्य भूतस्थो ममात्मा भूत भावना. It means, and yet everything created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Just in the previous verse he says, everything rests in me. And in the next verse he says, sound boom boom kar raha hai. And yet in the next verse he says, everything that is created does not rest in me. So how these two things, which are totally opposite, can be simultaneously true? So therefore Krishna says, this is my opulence. Pashyame yogam ashwaram. So Krishna himself is releasing his mystical potency and is telling the devotees, you also, inconceivable aspects of God are relished by devotees. But those who are not devotees, they are always confused about it, and they are breaking their heads to somehow logically understand them. But inconceivability is an aspect of absolute truth or God, and devotees relish that. Wow, our Krishna is so good. Like that pastime of the Brahmana and the cobbler. The Brahmana who was doing lot of tapasya, and Narad Muni was sent by Vishnu to check their faith. And the Brahmana asked, what did you see Vishnu doing? He said the Lord was passing an elephant through the eye of a needle. The Brahmana said, you have not gone to Vaikuntha. You are just joking. How is it possible that God can pass elephant through the eye of a needle? Anyway, tell me, when will I go back to Godhead? Narada Muni says, after many lifetimes. Then the Brahmana says, you are surely bluffing. Please get out. So the Narada Muni understood, this person has no faith. Then he met the cobbler who was chanting Lord's name and also doing his work. The cobbler offered his respectful obeisances to Narada Muni and said that, please tell me, what did you see Lord doing in Vaikuntha? Narada Muni said that he was passing elephant to the eye of a needle. And this cobbler started dancing. Narada Muni asked, what happened? He said, just see how wonderful my Lord is. Nothing is impossible for him. Such a giant creature, but a small tiny hole, he is passing it through. Narada Muni says, how do you believe this? Do you really accept this? He said, yes, why is it so difficult to believe? And he gives his own realization. He says, just see this huge not banyan tree, imli ka ped to kya kehte hain? Tamarind tree. This huge tamarind tree, and there are so many tamarinds, but look at the seeds of the tamarind, they are so small. This entire big tamarind tree is present in this small seed of tamarind. So how is it possible? It is Krishna's mystical potency. Krishna, my Lord, is so inconceivable. He can do impossible. Such a big tree in the small seed. So Narad Muni was so happy. So he said, when will I go back to Godhead? He said, you will go back to Godhead when all the leaves of the tamarind tree will fall. He said, Hari bol, that means I will go back to Godhead. And instantly all the leaves fell, and in front of everybody's eye, that cobbler went back to Godhead. So inconceivability of Krishna is very much relished by devotees. They are not disturbed by this. How Krishna can be simultaneously affectionate and at the same time he is not partial. How he maintains at the same time, like in this verse it is said that he is maintaining all the universe. But atheistic people will find fault. How this there is so much chaos in the universe, and devotees will find organization. How the universe is so harmonious. We will point about the organizational aspect. Look at how the earth is in a particular distance from the sun, and if the distance is little bit changed, there will be no life existing. How can it be happening without a god or a supreme intelligent who is behind these things? But the atheist will say, no, 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 there is so much chaos in the world. See, so many evils are existing, so much injustice. How can God exist? So, simultaneous existence of good and evil, these are all part of the plan of Krishna's managing this world. And devotees relish this. They do not become disturbed by this. In fact, Krishna has various ways he maintains. First of all, we should have faith that Krishna can maintain. And in the last class, we heard that God has these three energies, three power, K, P, A. He has K for knowledge, P for power, A for action. That means he has knowledge, he has the power to act on the knowledge, and A, action, he is acting. Means it's not that I can, like Dhritarashtra had the power to take action, but he was not taking action, and he had the knowledge of right and wrong, but and also the power to do the right thing and punish the wrongdoers, but he was not taking any action. So Krishna is not inactive, and he is not ignorant, and he is not powerless. His knowledge, he has knowledge, he has power, and is very much actively engaged in maintaining the whole entire universes. So we should have faith, like how much knowledge Krishna has. In 7th chapter, Krishna says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. That what is my knowledge? I know not just the present, I know the past. I not just know the past, I also know the future. The past, present and future. So all these things are known to Krishna, and therefore he is the best qualified person to maintain. To maintain some things, we should know in and out of that thing. If someone is running some department, the kitchen, duty, cleanliness, electricity, repair, so many departments are there. When we know the department properly, then we can maintain it properly. Otherwise, we will be not even knowing where there is problem happening, where some things are getting spoiled. So Krishna has full knowledge, all cognizant, abhigya swarat. He is conscious from all directions. Externally also he is watching us, internally also watching us. In the form of Sirodaksha Vishnu, he is present everywhere. So omnipresent is also omniscient, and he is also omnipotent. So he has the power to maintain, he has the knowledge to maintain, and he is present there to maintain. So in this way, Krishna is very wonderfully doing his maintenance lila, the pastime through which his Srishti Sthiti Pralaya. And Srila Prabhupada, when I was reading the transcription of Srila Prabhupada on this lecture, he was telling he is maintaining this through various forms, and he comes not just to maintain, to also bring back the fallen, forgotten, conditioned souls back to their home. And for that he takes on so many forms. And although he takes Anadi, that Brahma Samhita slok is Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Ananta Rupam. When Brahmaji is telling Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Ananta Rupam, so he has Ananta Roop, unlimited forms, and each form they are all one. Every single, they are ultimately one, Vishnu Tattva, that God himself. Krishna in the baby form and Krishna in his youthful form, they are not having any difference of potency. A child, like a conditioned soul, when he takes birth and in the childhood he is born, he grows, becomes a baby, boyhood, becomes young, becomes adult. As he grows, his realizations, his strength and weaknesses, they're always changing. So the kind of knowledge, experience, and strength and wisdom a person develops by the time he is 18-year-old, he may not be. He can never say that I had the same level of qualities when I was born, the day one. But that doesn't apply to Krishna. He is Advaitam. Baby Krishna or Kishore Krishna, they are all the same. And they are Advaitam. This is non duality. They are one and same, and they are doing beautiful pastimes just to attract. Prabhupada writes here in the purport of this verse, just to attract the fallen souls through his pastime. Krishna does all these things. So, how much he is affectionate. So, we should have faith in Krishna's maintenance. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. So, when we read that verse, so when after reading this verse, different struggles come in our life. Sometimes we tend to become hopeless, but we should understand Krishna has different way to maintain and protect. Sometimes the more we pray, the more we become as if life becomes challenging, difficult. It might be that Krishna's is reciprocating to our prayer by giving such more difficult times, because Krishna is knowing our future. We don't know our future. Vedaham samatitani vartamani charjuna. He is knowing our vartaman. He is knowing us and knowing our history also. He knows our past. Bhavishyani knows our future. So he is always planning and trying to guide us from inside so that our future becomes more better. And those guidance come in the form of internal inspiration, or sometimes it can come in the form of guilt. If we have done something wrong, there is a sense of guilt. This can, from where this comes? Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. That 15th chapter verse says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. That I am situated in everyone's heart, and from me I am supplying remembrance of right things and forgetfulness of the necessary things that are to be forgotten, or what needs to be forgotten at proper time. Krishna is empowering that. Forgetfulness, remembrance, these are all ways Krishna is maintaining the living entity. If something we don't forget at right times, it can be difficult. Like it is said, when a child takes birth, the pain of birth makes the child forget his previous life's experiences. If that forgetfulness is not given by Lord, the life will be hellish. One devotee was sharing in his coaching class, he was telling about reincarnation, and he was giving examples of people remembering their past lives. They are called Jatismar, and that Captain James is the very trending video that we saw in our preaching session of a boy remembering his previous life as a fighter pilot. So Prabhu was giving the class. After the class, one girl comes and tells that devotee, crying, that Prabhu, what you said, I also have some experience, but this is not a very good experience. I feel miserable. And she was crying, and this devotee was feeling nervous. I generally speak this past life memory as if a very wonderful session and nice information, and people are very much fascinated. But someone who actually remembers, for him it's a very traumatic thing. This girl was telling that I remember myself having horn. Probably I was some four-legged animal, and I remember myself getting slaughtered. How I was get so that memory comes and haunts me, and I feel very terrible. I get nightmares and I get shocks. It is very difficult to forget this, and my sleep gets disturbed a lot. And she was crying, and this devotee was thinking how to pacify. So this remembrance, therefore, remembering past life is very a cursing situation. Just imagine we remember how in previous life we lost our near and dear ones, how in our previous life we died, and when we take birth, our life will be like the life will begin with fear, and we see that children are therefore fearless because they don't have any memory of pain and pleasure. For them everything is a matter of game, and they try out. They don't fear snake, they don't fear fire. Everything is a first hand experience. So those memories are locked by Krishna. This is one way of Krishna maintaining the living entities in this world. Krishna also maintains by giving punishment. Krishna also maintains by giving reward. This entire system of reward, punishment, the law of karma, these are Krishna's ways of maintaining the universe. Sometimes Krishna can maintain in the form of time. Sometimes Krishna sends protection, maintenance in the form of his personal incarnation. Like when Draupadi was in tough situation, so protecting Draupadi was an aspect of maintenance, and he Krishna manifested as unlimited sari, and that's how he protected her. Sometimes Krishna can protect or maintain devotees just through time. He gives time. Time heals great wounds. They say, when someone speaks some harsh words to us, that day becomes very tough. One day or two, but after 1 or 2 days, again life goes on, and we forget. Although there is no significant change in the first day and the fourth day, but just because of time that we have spent, we spend time chanting, we spend time rendering services, we feel that our burning sensation has cooled down and we feel little pacified. This is also a way Krishna protects us or maintains this world in the form of time. So Krishna's maintenance is very beautiful and we should be faithful because we should understand that he is the most qualified personality who can maintain us, and not just us, he is maintaining everybody. He is creating such a wonderful system that exists in the nature. Last session or I think yesterday some class, I was sharing this example of symbiotic factory, that nobody has created a factory where the raw material and the waste product, they are both useful. There are two factories, and the waste product of one factory becomes the raw material for the second factory, and the waste product of the second factory is a raw material for the first factory. There is unlimited production and unlimited profit. Nothing to, but both are exchanging their waste products and just progressing very nicely. We don't see such factories. It's not possible to make one. But in the nature, such things are existing. We are giving up carbon dioxide, and the plants and trees they're taking it, and they're giving oxygen, and that is like a waste product for the trees and plants, and for us that is the source of our energy. Such a nice harmonious existence. So this is how Krishna has created a very micro-managed creation where everything is in harmony with one another. Everything is connected by unseen forces of Krishna's nature, and therefore no one can ever say they are free from Krishna's jurisdiction, God's jurisdiction. Everybody therefore must recognize. So this challenging spiritual Prabhupada says that although God comes in so many incarnations, in so many forms, yet there will be people, they will deny that He is God. They will deny the existence of God, and foolishly they will fight amongst themselves. So they don't understand that Krishna understand, God understand. In the Samudra Manthan Lila, he knows the Bhavishya. Vartamani Bhutani Bhavishyani. He says the demigods, see, these people will fight, you do not retaliate. They will say, whatever, you just look at me, if I say follow them, you follow them. So the Samudra Manthan began, the demons started telling, why should we hold the tail of the snake? We want to hold the head of the snake. It's an insult. And the demigods looked at Narayan, and Narayan said, don't retaliate, change the side. And they changed the side. And what was the result? Entire Samudra Manthan pastime, the snake was emitting poisonous flames, and these flames were very close to the demons, and they were disturbed by it, such polluting flames. And then the demigods were holding the tail, and they are feeling, my God, no, it is so nice to be obedient to Krishna. So we should therefore have trust on those empowered souls or Krishna, because they know us. When someone who doesn't know us from our past, from our beginning days, and suddenly we take quoting their reference for taking our day-to-day guidance, that is simply a disguise of our cheating propensity. We have seen that there are some devotees, I have personally sometimes done this. I keep on asking 10 devotees a particular thing, As long as someone says what I wanted to hear, I keep on asking. तो जी ऐसा कर सकते हैं ना, ऐसा कर सकते हैं ना. Achman, if there is some hurry, can I do only three times Achman instead of 12 times? So if out of 5 devotees, 3 devotees say, no, no, Prabhu, we must do the 12 Achmans properly, or the another 12 mudras properly. No, no, no. Okay, okay, करना ही है क्या? Okay, let me ask the fourth devotee. And if the fifth devotee says, no, no, bro, it can be done. If there is so much hurry, it can be done. Now this has to be followed. So this is a new standard. If there is any emergency, we can do shortcut achievement. So we sometimes, in the name of checking and asking guidance, we want to hide our laziness. And especially, we don't want to approach for guidance someone who knows us from the very first day, because we know this person will catch my laziness and he will say, no, I don't know about others, but you must do all the 12 achievements. He will clearly say. So this is a cheating propensity we may be employing in our practices. So we should be alert. So Krishna is qualified to maintain because he knows everything about all the living entities. And the beautiful thing is he knows all the living entities personally. Yesterday we were discussing in some group that if some boy has a connection with the Prime Minister of the nation, how much fearless and confident he will feel that I have personal connection with the Prime Minister. Hari Bol, what fear do I have? So Krishna is the supreme minister. He is the minister. He is not minister. He is the king. He is the king. He is the master of the whole creation. And he says that I know you. So what cause of fear should be there in our heart? In Srimad Bhagavatam, Akrur is praying that Lord Krishna, you are the supreme witness. You are watching my consciousness. So you know me. So why there should be any disturbing situation? We should have faith that I am under the protecting hands of Krishna, and we should move forward with whatever positive contribution we can do for the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada says these people, they will challenge. No, 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 I am God. God is dead. I am God. Prabhupada says God is God, dog is dog. So those people who is telling themselves to be God, they are like dogs. And they are just barking and they can never be happy. How can the society of dogs be ever experience peaceful existence? So this material advancement, what is this advancement? This is a godless civilization, and they're somehow or other determined to delete God from the picture. The moment in a community of scientists a meeting starts, the first thing they will say that move God and religion aside, and then we should begin our talk. And then whatever they will speak, they will ultimately come to a point where they will demand one to put faith. One has to put a lot of faith to believe that from a point everything begins. And they will say this is scientific. But when the same scientists are told everything began from God, they will say this is blind faith. How can this be blind faith? If that demands faith, and why can't that be blind faith? So Srila Prabhupada says that this is the unfortunate situation of the people of Kali Yuga. That Lord who is so compassionate and so involved with the living entities, He is taking so many forms. He is coming in the form of animals. There are so many forms of animals that Krishna takes, like Kurma avatar and Matsya avatar. He comes as Matsya avatar. Then Varaha form. What's you are telling? Hayagriva, the incarnation in which he has a head of a horse. And Narasimha is a special avatar, half lion, half human. And one devotee was telling full God. Is half human, half lion, and full God. So that is Narayan. So he is coming in so many ways in the society of animal, or in the form of animal also is appearing. And he is coming in the form of devatas. He is coming as brother of Indra. Vaman Dev is born from Aditi. So he is also coming in the demigod society. Sometimes he himself becomes Brahma, sometimes he himself becomes Indra when a qualified representative is not available. So why he is doing all these things is not that he is bound and he is like forced to appear in all these incarnations. It is his compassion, and out of compassion is coming in so many forms, and it requires lot of actually a lot of compassion. Like a person, when he gives guidance to a youngster, he has to act like a friend to that youngster. A person when he is guiding, a devotee when he is guiding a grihastha who is very senior in age also, he has to come to his level to guide him. A person who is guiding a class 6 student in Krishna consciousness, he has to come down to his level to guide him. And sometimes, at least I have seen, when such variety of people come, I feel tired. Tired, and everybody has different type of requirement and struggles and thought process experiences. Based on that, one has to guide that person, and it requires us to change us. We have to become customized to guide them. We have to take a lot of effort to customize ourselves when we are talking to a small kid, and we have to customize ourselves to guide someone who is younger or little more elder to that boy, and it requires genuine desire to help him or genuine compassion to serve that person. That requires time, energy, and real interest to serve them. And the same spirit, when we see in Krishna, he has unlimited compassion, and therefore he expands in unlimited forms to help the unlimited varieties of conditioned soul. In the form of Lord Jagannath, he comes to take worship from the Savaras, the tribals of the place Niladri, Nilachal, and he is giving himself fully in their hands. You worship me. In fact, when someone is interfering in that worship, like as advanced person like Ramanujacharya, Jagannath slaps him. That why are you interfering between the style in which I am accepting worship from these people? No, they are my own people. I have accepted them, and Jagannath is so happy. So many ways he is coming in the Rath Yatra. He is coming out and giving darshan and giving his like there is this verse, Dinabandhu Dinanath, Meri Dori Tere Haath. You say that I am giving the ropes of my life in the hand of you, dear Lord. And here in the Rath Yatra, Jagannath is giving, I give my rope of my heart to your hand. You take me to your heart. I am ready to come. So this is Lord's compassion in the form of these festivals when we celebrate. He is ready to give himself. Krishna is sitting as the charioteer of Arjuna, but to move the chariot, he is also taking reference from Arjuna. Arjuna is kicking, like we hear that story of South Indian Brahmana when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met him in the Srirangam temple. He was crying tears when holding Bhagavad Gita. He asked, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, why are you crying? He said, whenever I lift this Bhagavad Gita, I remember this incident of how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is accepting the role of a Sarathi, and he is doing this Leela, and just for the pleasure and out of compassion for Arjuna. He is so compassionate, and he says that Arjuna might be telling Krishna to turn left. He was telling Krishna to turn left and right by not speaking, but by kicking Krishna from back with his foot. When he is kicking towards the right side, Krishna is understanding. Arjuna is indicating me to go to the right side. Right side. So these in all varieties, so many varieties of where Krishna is extending his compassion. So we should have firm faith that God knows us and He knows us the best, and He knows others also. So the situations and the people both are known to God. We are not under the protection of some ignorant fool who is powerless and inactive. Krishna is knowledgeable, he is powerful, and he is active. In fact, the more we pray to Krishna, it is we should understand that Krishna's act. This is a proof that Krishna is active, because we are taking our time to pray to Krishna, and that means we are coming close to Krishna. In fact, that during Mahaprakash Leela, when Suklambar Brahmachari or Sridhar Kulavacha, one of them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that life after life, I make you like this in a poverty situation, because in this situation, the type of bhakti that you do, I relish it the most, and I seek your association in all these lives. For so many lifetimes, you are doing bhakti like this. So, for every type of people, Krishna has the plan to fan his fire of love for God, and for that he himself comes as some of his forms, or he may send his empowered incarnations. Sorry, he may send his empowered devotees, empowered souls, living entities who get the Shakti. Like Srila Prabhupada, he has the ability to preach. Srila Prabhupada was empowered by Krishna to unlimitedly preach to the whole world. such a transformation Srila Prabhupada brought in the lives of people who had hardly any awareness about Krishna or Sanatan Dharma, spiritual life. For them, anything that gave a sense of uh, high, or you can say ecstasy, ecstatic feeling, even if it is LSD, even if it is some intoxication, they will say that this is spiritual. Srila Prabhupada smashed all these types of confusion and gave them true Krishna concept, true ecstasy in the form of bhakti. So this is Krishna's compassion in the form of Srila Prabhupada. No, we hear in Chaitanya Charitamrita the pastimes of great devotees, Ramanand Rai, Swarup Damodar, preachers like Haridas Thakur, Nityanand Prabhu. Haridas Thakur is such a great soul. If you see his life, in one way, he was rejected by the smart Brahmanas. His own community people, the Muslims, they have rejected him. He hardly bothers. He is with his own service and his chanting, his preaching, and those who understands the glory of Srila Haridas Thakur, they are coming to take shelter from Srila Haridas Thakur. They are not bothered whether Haridas Thakur is accepted by the Muslim community or the smart Brahmana. He is preaching pure philosophy and he is connecting us to Lord Sri Krishna, and he is himself practicing what he is speaking. Like in few days back, his Grace Radha Shampu's lecture, he was telling Achar is more important than Prachar. All these things, Haridas Thakur is hardly bothered. He's chanting and preaching, giving classes. I don't know how it is inconceivable. Like Krishna is inconceivable, his pure devotees are also inconceivable. 192 rounds along with preaching. So, high class preaching, high class sadhana is something we always fail to balance. we feel that for sadhana, we have to compromise service, and for doing nice service, it may not always be doing nice, but we see just the opposite in the history of our parampara. The most busy devotees who are there in our society of Krishna conscious movement, they had the best of the sadhana we have seen. Like great souls like those who are then serving in the New Vrindavan temple. Day in and out they are doing service. Somewhere waking up at 2 o'clock, and from the 2 o'clock till probably 18 hours of service, and with that they are managing their sadhana. So service prepares the heart, and when such heart, like in 2020 when Corona was there, that Maharaj was there, he was giving classes. Bhakti Dvait Adipuru Swami Maharaj. Some devotee was telling that in his entire life he was in DT department and many other services he was doing. But when he took sannyas, in 1-2 years he did such sadhana. My God, such knowledge he has. Time goes out. After 9:30 he is also speaking long classes, and devotees are such long notes and very technical classes he will give. And that some devotees are telling that Prabhu, it seems Maharaj is very technical. Then someone said, no, he is actually very simple devotee. And his past is like this. He has rendered lot of services for many years, 20 plus years he has rendered service. So therefore, service prepares the heart open for realizations, and when sadhana is done with that, it sinks in the heart. So Haridas Thakur, when he is preaching, and people like Ramchandra Khan also exist, somehow or other he wants to prove that this person is a bogus person. He is not able to digest the success of Srila Haridas Thakur. Somehow we want to prove, and when he is not getting any proof, he is inventing proof, and for that attempt he sent to whom? That prostitute, and finally that prostitute only became transformed. She became a pure devotee. And what was Haridas Thakur response to Ramchandra Khan? A big nothing. No response. He just left that place, because when offenses are done to a empowered representative of Lord, empowered representatives do not bother to retaliate or take revenge. Devotees do not take revenge. Devotees bring results. They preach and they render service. That is their offer to the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So Ramchandra Khan's offenses became the cause of his destruction. Later, when Nityanand Prabhu comes in his village, so he finds a mandap, which was the mandap meant for Durga Puja. and that mandap belonged to Ramchandra Khan. And there he brought his associates to take some rest. Ramchandra Khan is so full, he drives Nityanand Prabhu away. Get out, why are you people here? Get out. And Nityanand Prabhu just laughs, ha ha ha, like that. And that was not just a laugh of happiness, that was a laugh of, anger. Nityanand Prabhu left with his associates. And what was the result of that offense? After a few days, the Mughal people came because he was doing some cheating financially. So the many Mughal people came with soldiers. They looted the entire village, burnt many houses, and in that same mandap which he was doing Durga Puja, they killed cows, they cooked them and fed these people. And in this way, Ramchandra Kha whole family village was destroyed. Nothing was done in retaliation by Srila Haridas Thakur, but it was his own actions. So therefore, when Krishna is willing to express his compassion in the form of his own Lila avatar or through his empowered souls, and foolish living entities do not recognize that, they really end up in big trouble. And with those trouble also, Krishna is maintaining them. They are also not like rejected by God. By those punishments, like we hear the pastime of Gopal Chapal, Devanand Pandit, who became transformed, who had offended Srivas Thakur. Gopal Chapal. Gopal Chapal came in right track. He realized his mistake. So this is also a mercy of Krishna, that if someone is offending, he is getting reaction. That means Krishna is active in his life also. So in this way, in so many various ways, Krishna is maintaining and attracting all the living entities of this world. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Krishna Prabhupada ki.